Greetings to you viewers from across the globe. You're welcome to the show Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. I'm your host, Odiawa AI for Veegil Media. You'll do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Veegil Media, and follow us across various social media platforms. And download the app, the Veegil app, on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You're welcome once again. On the show today, we'll be talking about dignity, sanity, and functions in the police force, the Nigerian police force here to be specific. But first off, we will commence with the headlines making the rounds in the political space. Number one, we have Wike and Fubara. They have finally reached a truce after meeting with the chief executive, Tinubu. Now, after weeks of dramatic twists in Rivers State, the political gladiators in the oil-rich region of the South-South reached a truce on Monday as at yesterday after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja. The meeting had in attendance Governor Siminari Fubara, who is the incumbent governor of the Garden City, Rivers State, and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, who is now the FCT minister, the Federal Capital Territory. Also in attendance in the meeting were ex-governor Peter Odili and some traditional rulers from the states. Vice President Kashim Shettima and the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, were also in attendance. Now, Rivers State has been a theater of absurd. It has been a theater of the absurd in the last 3 months, with the State House of Assembly serving as the boxing ring. Now, the rift between Wike and Fubara split lawmakers in the House, with 27 of them decamping from the PDP to the APC. Now, a party in whose central government Wike currently serves as minister. The president and some elder statesmen had intervened in the crisis earlier in October, but it degenerated into a full-blown fight. However, after Monday's meeting, the warring factions agreed that all matters instituted in the court by Fubara and his team be withdrawn speedily. Fubara, Wike, Ameule, and other gladiators in the crisis signed the agreement. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribado, also inked down the document also. Moving on, we have the court freezing the Oyo State accounts in 10 banks with over 3.5 billion naira in debt. Now, a high court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has issued an order freezing the accounts of the Oyo State government in 10 commercial banks in the country. The order was issued by Justice Anite Ebong in a ruling on a garnishee proceeding initiated by ex-council chiefs in Oyo State, sacked on Monday 29, 2019 by Governor Seyi Makinde, and who in 2021 got a 4.9 billion naira judgment against Makinde and other officials and agencies of the state. The garnishee proceeding is intended by the ex-council chiefs led by Basharu Majid Ajuwon to recover the balance of 3.5 billion naira, which is outstanding from the actual judgmental sum, from which Makinde paid only 1.5 billion naira in 2022. The banks in which the Oyo State government accounts are blocked are Zenith Bank, United Bank of Africa, the UBA, Wema Bank, First Bank of Nigeria, Eco Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank, Access Bank, Polaris Bank, Jay's Bank, and lastly, Union Bank. Now, in a ruling, Justice Ebong ordered the banks to file affidavits and attend the court on the next adjourned date to show cause why the garnishee orders hereby granted should not be made absolute. Now, the judge awarded 300,000 naira as a cost against the judgment debtors and ordered that a copy of the order be served on Makinde and others and adjourned till January 5 next year on hearing. Now, on May 7, 2021, when the Supreme Court gave judgment voiding Makinde's sack of elected local government chairman and councillors in Oyo State, the Apex Court gave a supreme judgment similarly in respect of Katsina State and ordered both states to pay the salaries and allowances of the affected ex-council chiefs. Justice Ajembieko, who delivered the lead judgment in the Oyo State case, condemned the decision by Makinde to unlawfully sack the elected council chiefs before the end of the tenure. Now, moving on, it will be Tinubu who is now on the scene, stating that he won't tolerate non-performance from the new NNPC board. President Bola Tinubu has won the board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, that non-performance will not be tolerated. The president, who inaugurated the board of the NNPC at the State House on Monday, also warned that conduct suggesting a sense of entitlement will not be tolerated. Now, according to a statement by presidential spokesman Ajurin Gelale, the president said that the board could be dissolved without prior notice to members over non-performance. He also said corporate social responsibility for the Niger Delta must be taken seriously, considering the devastating impact of oil exploration and exploitation on the environment. Furthermore, he directed that more attention should be given to gas as Nigeria's transition to cleaner energy. Now, in his remarks, the chairman of the board, Pius Akinlure, commended the president for the removal of petrol subsidy and noting that the nation would have drowned in debt but for his decisiveness. Tinubu still yet on the scene again. Now, this is from Fashola, dictating that the chief executive Tinubu has no constitutional role in Ondo and the Rivers State crisis. Now, former Minister of Works Babatunde Raji Fashola has said that President Bola Tinubu's intervention is not required in the ongoing political tension in Ondo State and Rivers State, as the constitution does not give room for such. Despite calls for the president to get involved, Fashola said the constitution clearly outlines the proper procedures and roles of officials in such situations. Fashola went on to praise the blue blood Ondo indigenes who pushed for law and constitutionality in their state's recent crisis before the governor's letter restored calm. The former minister said that going forward, the leadership in Rivers State similarly needs to do the needful rather than pass a responsibility. Fashola agreed that citizens must also amend themselves and take accountability rather than improperly demanding presidential action. Now, Tinubu again here is on the block, but this time around it is the Ohaneze Indigbo group. We have accepted Tinubu as our president. If we recall, there have been rumors making the rounds that they have been marginalized. Now, the Ohaneze Indigbo said that Igbos have accepted Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as its president. The president general of the Ohaneze Indigbo, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, stated this during a televised interview yesterday. Now, meanwhile, the Ohaneze Indigbo leader has appealed to the president to use his constitutional powers as the president of Nigeria to release the incarcerated leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, despite the order from the Supreme Court. Now, Iwanyanwu said the release of Nnamdi Kanu will help the security operatives to differentiate between those fighting for Kanu's freedom and criminals operating under the guise of protests for Kanu's release, so they can restore peace within the southeast region of Nigeria. The Indigbo leader said he has been in touch with the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, Afenifere, Middle Belt Forum, and even several Hausa leaders, and they had all come to a conclusion that Nnamdi Kanu should actually be released, even releasing a communique to this effect after a meeting was actually held. Now, this matters going over to Edo State concerning the 2024 elections. Catholic priest Obinyo declares interest in the Edo 2024 Guba race. Now, a very Catholic priest in Edo State, Reverend Father Andrew Obinyo of St. Francis Catholic Church, Benin City, may have succumbed to calls and agitations as he on Monday declared to contest for the #1 seat in Edo State, the governorship seat here. Although he did not declare the party on which he will be contesting, he said that after many calls and pressure from well-meaning citizens of Edo State, he was ready to contest the elections. He disclosed this when he was visiting the secretariat of the Edo State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Benin City. Also speaking, Sir Jude Aigbonas, who is leading the Reverend Father Obinyo movement, said, after being governed by politicians and technocrats, Edo people should give the priest a chance to govern the state, adding that the Reverend Father is a tested and trusted servant, calling on the youths in the states to embark on a mass movement for Obinyo, and that with the Catholic priest, the state would experience a total turnaround like a new creature. Join me in the next phase of the show. I'm Odiawa AI for Veegil Media, and the show is Viewpoint. You're welcome back to the show. On the show today, we will be talking about dignity, sanity, and functions in the police force. Now, I'm talking about the Nigerian police force here. Now, it's no news that the Nigerian police force has been plagued with all sorts of ill descriptions, which are not quite pleasing to the ear. Now, the essence for this topic of discussion is because they need to outrightly showcase their optimal performance, judging from the Yuletide season, which is fast approaching. Now, amidst the persistent abuse and deconstruction of the police powers and functions, the Chief Executive, Tinubu, has recently directed the police personnel assigned to VIP security duties should actually be withdrawn. Now, the primary statutory functions of the police force as stipulated in the Nigerian Police Act as amended are: number 1, prevention; secondly, detection of crime; thirdly, apprehension of offenders; number 4, preservation of law and order; number 5, protection of life and property; and lastly, enforcement of the law for all benefits of the citizenry. Now, the Nigerian Police Force Establishment Act 2020, which came into force on the 17th of September 2020, has repositioned the Nigerian police force to uphold and safeguard fundamental rights of every person in Nigeria and to bring about a positive change in the public perception of the police force by actually ensuring that its functions are performed dutifully, such that in a manner sensitive to the needs and well-being of the entire general public. Now, the new directive actually is commendable, frankly speaking, and it should be enforced speedily, in my own view and my own opinion. This is not actually the first time such directive has actually been dished out without execution. Previous directives from higher authorities withdrawing the police from VIPs were not actually executed. For instance, in 2012, we will recall, the then police IG, Mohammed Abubakar, he was actually the Inspector General of Police at the time. He also gave similar directives saying that it is meant to bring about professionalism in the job. Now, not only Abubakar here, another police ex-boss as at 2016, Solomon Arase, he actually lamented that there were more pressing securities challenging across the nation than the attachment of officers to private individuals. Now, then again, in June 2023, it was reported that the following establishments of the 40,000-man Special Intervention Squad, the police IG Kayode Egbetuku, announced plans to withdraw the police mobile personnel forces from VIP escorts or guard duties, but the plans are yet to actually be executed. Now, this directive should not go unheeded as the previous ones. Notably, the current Minister of State for Police Affairs, Ayman Suleiman Ibrahim, he has actually revealed that the Police High Command will execute President Bola Tinubu's directive for the withdrawal of the police personnel from VIP security duties and to develop a community policing strategy, among others. Nigerians actually should look forward to this execution and this directive. It is not the duty of the police to actually render personal services to private citizens. Now, unfortunately, our police officers who are supposed to actually be detecting crimes and maintaining law and order for the common good and benefit of the citizenry are now actually deployed only to wealthy citizens as their personal orderlies, houseboys, more demeaning bag carriers, or even ushers, drivers, and so forth. They are brought down to so much demeaning positions, which is quite uncalled for. Now, the situation is so bad that any cyber fraud individual, they are known as the Yahoo boys now, they feel that they have assumed the position of a big man and can afford to recruit dozens of police officers to carry their bags, cook for him, or maybe join his convoy of vehicles or retinue for security detail. On another note, in traffic or at public functions, fully armed police orderlies assigned to private wealthy Nigerians can be seen slapping the bonnets of cars to command other road users to give way to their principals. Now, these days, it is not uncommon to find female police officers treated in a demeaning manner and forced to carry the handbags of the wives of dignitaries. Police officers who are also used as house helps to carry out menial jobs in the houses of their principals. For instance, in September 2022, a female police officer, Inspector Teju Moses, she was actually physically assaulted by her principal in Garki, Abuja, due to the officer's refusal to breach professional ethics or conduct by carrying out menial or domestic chores in the house. However, there are circumstances in which policemen or law enforcement officers can be assigned to protect important public officers or private citizens. For instance, when there is a credible information or evidence indicating that an individual faces a specific threat to his or her life or safety, the police or the law enforcement agencies may therefore assign to provide protection for that individual or such individuals. Similarly, public figures such as current or ex-political office holders, serving judges, serving magistrates, or high-ranking officials may receive police protection due to the increased risk of being targeted for various reasons, including political motives, public scrutiny, or personal conflicts, or probably other ulterior selfish motives. Individuals who cooperate with law enforcement as witnesses in criminal cases may be provided with police protection to ensure their safety. But the solution to the problems with the Nigerian police force transcends the withdrawal of the police assigned to VIP security duties. The solution is to restore the dignity and functions of the police in Nigeria. Now, first off, for a start, more people need to be recruited into the police force. Now, with a population of about 200 million people, seriously, Nigeria is grossly under-policed. The UN, the United Nations, actually recommends that at least one police officer for every 450 persons in a country. Even with the mass recruitment into the police force, the bigger issue of training the police to function efficiently remains unresolved. The authorities should actually invest in continuous training for police officers to enhance their professional skills, ethics, and understanding of human rights, because most of them are not even grounded when it comes to the ethics and the rule of law when it comes to exercising their primary functions. Modern policing techniques also, including community policing and de-escalation training, should also be introduced in the police force. Also, there is need to implement and promote community policing strategies to build trust and collaboration between the police and the communities in which they serve. This is the context in which the clamor for the creation of state police is advantageous. State police will enable the federating units to effectively maintain law and order, especially during social upheavals such as intercommunal clashes, youth restiveness, ethnic militancy, without waiting for the intervention of the federal police, which may show up late or not even show up at all. Now, the persistent call for reforming the Nigerian police is germane and remains a pressing issue that requires concrete action rather than mere rhetorics. And that's my own view as I draw the curtain on today's episode on Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. You do well to follow us across various social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Veegil Media. Don't forget to download the Veegil app on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. I'm Odiawa AI. Thanks for watching.